Hey everyone, my name is Bill Griffey. I've been coaching throwers for the last 17 years, and one common question that happens during this time of year as you're transitioning from the fall to the indoor season when it gets too cold outside is, what can I do with my discus throwers? It's getting too cold to go outside. Sometimes you can't even grip the rim anymore, so you have to actually transition all your training to the indoors, and you got to find a place to train. And today I'm just going to go over some basic positioning drills that all discus throwers, especially beginners, should be doing during the indoor season. During the indoor season is a great time to work on strength and conditioning and do a bunch of stuff with a med ball just to work on your explosive power. But one thing that throwers must not forget is to spend an enormous amount of time on your technique as well. The rhythm is what's going to make you a really good discus thrower. So during the indoor season, as you're building up that max strength and explosiveness, don't forget to spend a lot of time working on your turning rhythm. It's going to pay off for you big time by the time you get to the spring and you're ready to throw really, really far. So, for this demonstration, I'm going to use what's called a knocking ball. You'll actually see javelin throwers use this a lot, but it's also a good tool for discus throwers just to work on some positioning drills. The knocking ball, you can find it in any track and field equipment. You just Google track and field equipment, and you'll be able to find these knocking balls. You can find any type of rubberized ball at a sporting goods store, something that's just not going to mark up the walls at your gym or wherever you're throwing against. You can throw against the siding of a house even with these without actually causing any damage. But they're just a great training tool. They give you something for your hands, so you can get a feel. That way you can feel and implement in your hands and really work the rhythm of the event. So to start, we're going to work on the basic starting position and work on some drills to help us turn better out of the back of the ring. So to start off, you just want to make sure that your feet, if you're in the back of the ring, just get the picture. This is a ring right here. You're going to start off in the back of the ring. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, just outside shoulder width apart, whatever feels comfortable. And you're going to get down to a quarter squat, get your chest nice and level over your legs. And the first thing you want to do is put the knocking ball on your throwing hand, wind it up, get your arms out nice and wide, wind it up until your left side your left arm is right across from your left leg, and the discus is brought back, or the knocking ball is brought back nice and high, stretched out, right about your ear level. You can see that. Just a little bit higher than your shoulder and your ear level. The initial wind up, you're going to be able to create one of three high points that you're going to get with the discus. So it's always good to start off with a good solid high point to start, because it's only going to get higher and higher from there. And we know that height of release is one of the things that makes the discus go really far. So have your athletes practice that again and again. Each one's going to kind of have their own style, but as long as they hit the basic position where they got most of their weight on their left leg, and then they squat down, and then they wind the discus up right to here, and then just hold it. They're going to feel a lot of tension in their non-dominant side, their left side, for a right-handed thrower, and they're going to feel the initial stretch of the discus right here. You want to feel an initial stretch right here and right along the sides to give you a little bit of that elastic energy. So have your athletes practice that as many times as needed. Again, here it is right here. Wind up, hold. Come back to the beginning. Wind up, hold. All right. As your athletes get more advanced with this, they're going to be able to go farther back with the wind up and transfer from more weight from right to left. But in the beginning, you just want to work on most of the weight being on the left leg, because that way when you're entering into the ring, you're on much more balance. You have more balance and you're not falling into the ring unbalanced, which is going to cause a wobbly throw. You don't want that. So have your athletes practice that a few times, and then once they become proficient at that, have them work on something else. Okay, the next step in this progression is a 90-degree pivot. So after they do a wind up and they're pretty good at it, have them get into that wind up again, and then from right here they'll feel the stretch. They're going to work on a 90-degree pivot right to there. Okay, 90 degrees. Have them do it over and over and over again. Wind it up, pivot to 90, hold, make sure that their discus is still out, their eyes are still up, their chest is still square, and they're on good balance. Have them do that as many times as it takes. Some athletes are going to be able to be good at it right away, so just challenge them a little bit more. Have them do extra, have them help some other people that are having trouble. Again, one more time, wind up, hold, 45-degree pivot, 90-degree pivot. Next one you want to do is the 180 drill. This one's going to test your balance a little bit more, but it's very important that you turn balance out of the back of the ring. Again, here we go. Wind it up, hold, and then you're just going to pivot to 180. All right. Wind up, hold, pivot to 180. All right. As you see, when I'm turning, I'm still on balance. This left side is on balance. You got to think of your left side as a door hinge and your right side is the door. You want that door hinge to be nice and straight, otherwise the door is going to kind of wobble and not open and shut correctly. So make sure that your left side is all on balance. Your shoulders are on balance with your knees and your ankles. You're not falling away or doing anything like that. Make sure you're nice and balanced. Armpit right with that knee and the ankle. Okay? One more time with the 180 drill. Hold. Good. That one's going to take a few times of practice. Again, do as many as it takes before you move on. The next step in this progression is learning how to do a step through. You know, I've called them walkthroughs. But what you want to do to start, wind it up, hold, go to 90 degrees, and then from here, you're going to step through or just take a nice little easy walking step right to the middle of the ring. Step here. You'll see that I'm still on balance. My arms are outstretched like this, and now I'm starting to get across the ring, and it's real important at that point that you're actually upright. It's almost like you're flying in the air, you're trying to take off. Again, let me show you it again. Wind, hold, step in. All right. That one's going to take many times to get used to. And there's some more advanced movements I can show you in a different video. But for beginning throwers, you want this just stepping through, getting a little bit of elevation from the back to the middle, and most importantly, staying on balance. Good. So, after they do that drill correctly, you really want to test their balance coming out of the back of the ring. So you kind of come up with this drill. It's kind of fun. It's called the 360 drill. Athletes have trouble with it right away, but once they master it, they actually kind of enjoy doing it. And it's kind of a fun drill to learn, and it's a challenge for anyone at every level, and it just really helps improve balance turning out of the back of the ring. So again, you're going to wind up, hold that position right there, then you're gonna pivot 360 degrees back to the start. All right. It's been a little while, so I had a little trouble with that one myself. Stay on balance. Wind, hold, pivot. Good. Have your athletes practice that a lot. From there, what you want to do is after you've done the 360 drill, you're doing the step through drill pretty good, you want to work on some front or middle of the ring drills. Some 180s or half turns, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so now my throwing direction is going to be that way, just because I want you to see face on what a half turn position looks like. So here's the drill. Have them step through, and this is where they're at right here. Okay, so right now you want your right foot, if you're a right-handed thrower, focusing right down the left sector line. Just pretend like there's a left sector line if you don't have a throwing area, and your left foot behind you is going to be facing down the opposite sector line, the right sector line. It kind of gives you this cross pattern. Your hips are crossed, your shoulders are out, you're building all kinds of elastic energy right here. And this is kind of the good spot to be, because when you land in a power position, and if you can build up more elastic energy, that disc is going to snap out there so far, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So from here, you're still on balance, right? This is where you're at. This is where you want to be, in the middle of the position, or the middle of the throw. The next step from here is a reverse pivot to the front of the ring. So I'm going to reverse pivot on my right leg and bring my left leg real close behind my right and step to the front of the ring. And the discus from right here, you're actually going to see it and go up into a second high point. And that's because I'm putting a primary focus on my right leg pivot. Okay? So have them work on this right here. Wind up, hold, get the stretch, reverse pivot, hold. Okay? Very good. Let's try this again. Line, step, come through. You just like this right here. Reverse pivot, hold, come on back to the starting position. Do that as many times as possible. Try it again. Step, hold, step in, reverse pivot, watch the disc go up, and practice over again. Having little technical difficulties here. Okay, so after you get those good throwing drills going, you make sure you keep going, and then from there, from the front of the ring, you're hitting the middle right here. So now you want to go to the front of the ring. The next step you want to do, that's my throwing area, you want to do a 1-2 drill, and then you can actually release the ball. So the 1, you're actually going to pull your left side out, pull your left arm out. You're going to feel a big stretch with the left arm. And then the 2 is the release of the implement. Let me show you one time, and I'll let you try it on your own. I'll show you the full drill. Zip. 1, 2. All right. Thanks for joining me for some discus drills today.